So Da Nang versus Saigon. I've had the opportunity, or I've been presented with an opportunity of possibly being able to move to another city, and my all-time favorite city always used to be Da Nang in the central part of Vietnam. So I'm debating in my mind, do I leave Saigon and go and live in Da Nang for a little bit, even if it's just for 6 months? Now I have my resident card for a couple of years, I'm all set and don't have any issues in regards to visas, which is great. But what are the pros and cons of Saigon and Da Nang? You know, if you could live in either city, which one would you prefer? So let me know in the comments below, guys, if you know of both these cities. Which one would be the best for you? Which one would you prefer? So I'm just going to go through kind of like a thought experiment, thinking out loud, as I typically do on my bike. Give you some information about these two cities, and maybe it'll help me to decide as well. So let's start off with Saigon, pros and cons. Well, what are the pros? It's a big city, it's good for meeting people. Good restaurants, good food. Easy access to the airport. There's a lot of international hospitals here and government hospitals, so you have choice in regards to healthcare. And the people here are probably more used to dealing with foreigners, so the English level is higher. And that's quite important in things like hospitals as well, when you're trying to explain stuff. Pace of life here is pretty hectic. Negatives, things like traffic, pollution. Now this is a Saturday lunchtime, so it's pretty quiet, but most of the time now, COVID's kind of long forgotten about here. Everyone's back at the office, back at school, and wow, it's just crazy. So it'd be nice to get out of the traffic and live a more beach lifestyle, for sure. Da Nang is definitely quieter, but it's getting busy, especially on the weekends. You've got a lot of tourists, Korean tourists, and quite soon I think we'll get a lot of Russian tourists coming back as well. Or maybe not. So it's a bit like Vung Tau. So Vung Tau is about 80 kilometers southeast of Saigon, and they get like literally 50 to 100,000 visitors every weekend pile into the beach. And the same is starting to go for Da Nang now, so it's getting hugely popular on the weekends. And I've been there on the weekend and it's not so nice. I don't like it when it's too busy. It's noisy, it's crowded, a lot of trash around. And that brings me on to another point, and that's noise. So one thing that does start to get to you here after a while is the noise. You know, it's a very noisy city. Oh my God. And of course, people driving like that, as if you don't exist. But perhaps living by the beach will be quieter, or perhaps not. Perhaps there's more karaoke up there. Perhaps it's a little bit noisier, more chickens. Damn, those roosters. Sometimes it's quite traditional to have roosters in Vietnam, even in the city. And even where I live, which is quite a modern apartment block, there is a little shop, and he's got 2 roosters outside, and they're just crowing all day, all night, and it's just so annoying. I don't understand why they would keep them like that, but who knows? If you know, guys, let me know. So health-wise, I like cycling. I like to try to keep fit. So Da Nang is obviously better for that. You've got the beach, the mountains. Good for walking, good for biking. But the weather in Da Nang is very extreme. So from like May through to August time, it's really hot, like 35 degrees, really humid. And then from, say, I think around October through to December, it's super stormy. Like, you can get typhoons rolling in, things like that. So you've got 2 extremes of weather, but there is a sweet spot from like January through to March where it is pretty nice, like 25, 26 degrees and not too much rain. So that is nice. Oh, look at that cat. But I'd say the weather in Da Nang is more extreme for sure than in Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon is more hot and wet or hot and dry. But it does get pretty hot down here as well, 34, 35 around April, May time. Da Nang also has an international airport which is very accessible. Like wherever you are in the city, it's only like 15-20 minutes away, and that's really nice. I find the people of Da Nang quite friendly, but they're also quite friendly in the south here in Saigon as well. One thing I would miss if I were to leave Saigon would be Mr. Wee, my barber. And I'm about to pay him a visit now. Yeah, Mr. Wee there.
Wee.
Yeah, Wee, yeah. Yeah. Sweet.
Anh ơi, sắp đợi.
I can wait. So it's quite hard to consider when you're weighing up a move to a new place. And one of those things is, you know, do you really want to do it? Can you be asked to shift all your stuff to a new city? I mean, it's just myself, so it's not too bad, but still, I would have to potentially hire some sort of truck, like just a small truck. It's actually my bicycles that are the heaviest and the most cumbersome things to take, and I can't fly with this bike because it's got a lithium battery, and they won't let you fly with large lithium batteries for obvious reasons. So it's a real leap into the unknown, and it's especially the case here in Vietnam because you really don't know like what you're going to get in regards to apartments, things like that, until you move in. So you really can't kind of find out what your neighbors are like, what kind of chickens they might have, or roosters, I should say. Shit. And yeah, I mean, as you get a bit older, you're looking for that kind of comfort, looking for a quiet place, and I suppose the option would be to just take a short lease, a month or two, and then if there's any issues, you could just move on. But I don't know, it's a lot of effort. So I'm quite settled here in Saigon, and it takes a while. You know, it takes a while to settle into somewhere, especially in Vietnam. It's not, you know, it's not my home country. And it takes a long time to find a nice apartment that you really like, and you know, build up your base of friends, girlfriend, things like that. You know, it takes a while. Do you really want to give all that up, start again? Like if I was in my 20s, if you asked me this question 20 odd years ago, I would have probably packed up and gone there tomorrow. Yeah, let's go live on the beach, do some surfing. But now I'm a bit older, quite a bit older. But I suppose maybe that's a good thing. Quite a lifestyle near the beach, and I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to do that. And I don't know how long that opportunity will be available to me, and maybe I may have to come back in the future. Just don't know that, but life is short, and you've got to take the opportunities as they come, I suppose. Back onto Boy Vien Street now. Just doing a little cruise around today. Quite like to do this sometimes. And I love it on my bike because when you're on a bicycle, you're just going a little bit slower, so you're able to take in all the sights. So I'd love to hear your comments on this. I'd really like to know what you think. What are the pros and cons of bigger cities, smaller cities, beach city? How does it affect your lifestyle? What kind of lifestyle would you like? So there we go, folks. Saigon versus Da Nang. Let me know. Which one would you choose and why?